Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my 30 favourite movies of the 1990s. This is the second half of the 30, so this is another 15 movies. Hopefully I can get through these a bit quicker than I did on the last video, because the last video was nearly an hour long, and I don't expect people to hang around watching me waffle about films for an hour. So I'll try and get through these as quickly as possible, but also I want to touch a little bit on the movies themselves. We have another 15 movies. There's going to be a bit of a theme running through these, genre theme running through these. And I just want to thank everyone for the comments and the views on the last video. If you want to watch more, just give us a subscribe if you want. I'm not really bothered. I just like talking about movies. So, I'm recording this on a brand new phone. I am recording it on a Pixel 10 instead of a Samsung S22. And so hopefully this will be in 4K, but who knows? It might look shit, but we'll only know until we look at the playback. Ignore the CEX bag behind me. Let's crack on. Let's get cracking with the knacking, shall we? So, first up, we have... this is a film which I've talked about this character many times on different videos. It's the character of Parker, created by Donald E. Westlake, a writer who wrote it under a pseudonym of Richard Starkey. Oh, Richard Stark, sorry, not Richard Starkey. That's Ringo Starr. And it's the 1999, I believe it was 1999, crime drama thriller gangster flick thing, Payback with Mel Gibson. I love this movie. This movie is a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it has this really cool sort of neo-noir edge to it, even though it's not technically, well, I suppose you could say it's neo-noir, but Mel Gibson plays Porter instead of Parker. Parker was the name that was first used in the Jason Statham movie Parker, and then it was used in Play Dirty, where Mark Wahlberg played the character of Parker in the last movie directed by Shane Black, which was a terrible movie. So yeah, this one's really cool. There are two different versions of this. This is the theatrical version. There's one called the Straight Up Edition, which is a director's cut, which completely changes the third act of the movie and makes it tonally a lot darker. But Payback, such a great film, really cool cast in this as well. You've got Mel Gibson, Chris Christopherson, William Devane, Deborah Kara Unger, Lucy Liu is in this, David Paymer, just loads and loads of really good character actors. But yeah, Mel Gibson is really, really cool in this as Porter. So that's Payback. Then we have another really cool film from 1997. This is a film that is quite hard science fiction. It's based on a novel by, who's the guy? Carl Sagan, there we go. Based on a novel by Carl Sagan. This is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it's the movie Contact, starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. I love this film. Not only does it have an incredible score by, I believe it's James Horner. I want to say James Horner. No, it's Alan Silvestri. What am I talking? Of course it's Alan Silvestri. It's a Robert Zemeckis film. Therefore, it's Alan Silvestri. But again, really great cast in this with Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey, James Woods is in this. John Hurt is in this as well. But what really stands out about this movie is that it's not sort of in-your-face science fiction movie. It's a very more subdued sci-fi movie and focuses more on science versus religion, or science versus belief. And yeah, it's just really, really good. Really great performance by Jodie Foster as Ellie Arroway, the professor in this. McConaughey's pretty good as well. And the ending scene in the courtroom is just an absolute heartbreaker, with Ellie trying to convince a board of her peers that what happened to her actually happened, and that no one would actually believe her because of the recording time of some CCTV that just, yeah, you need to watch the movie. Yeah, it's really, really good. David Morse is also in this. He plays Jodie Foster's character's father, who is a sort of, that is a main theme that runs through this movie. But yeah, just a really great film. Where are we? So then moving on, this is a sci-fi movie, sci-fi action movie, you could say. And the reason I chose this is because this and Army of Darkness, which was in the last video, were the first two VHS movies that I ever bought myself. Not had like Christmas presents and stuff. I bought these myself, and it's the Ray Liotta sci-fi movie, No Escape. This is a great film, really underrated. It's also known as Escape from Absalom. It's about a soldier who executes his commanding officer and is sent to prison, where he is then dropped onto an island that is run by prisoners. You've got the like feral, not feral, but you've got the violent clan on one side, and you've got the sort of peace-loving clan on the other side, and it's essentially almost like Escape from Alcatraz and the Good, the Bad, and the, not the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, but set in a sort of dystopian future where prisoners are put on an island. Again, great cast in this: Ray Liotta, Lance Henriksen, Kevin Dillon, Ernie Hudson, the guy from Stuart Wilson, there we go, who is in Hot Fuzz. He plays the villain in this. And the sadistic warden is played by Michael Lerner. Just, again, really, really cool film. Has a lot of memories for me, this does. Obviously, being one of the first VHS films that I ever bought myself. I watched it over and over again. I still watch it quite often now, and I know that it's getting a really, really funky looking 4K release. I think it's from Umbrella in Australia, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's No Escape. Moving on, we have the best Die Hard movie of the 90s. Considering there was only two, which was 1990, I believe, was Die Hard 2, and this one was 1995. It's Die Hard with a Vengeance, starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, along with Jeremy Irons and Graham Greene, Colin Camp, Larry Brigman, and Sam Phillips. This film's so cool. This film is great. This is, I don't know, I think this is like, for me personally, I think this is the second best Die Hard movie. You've got John McTiernan returning to direct. Instead of being set in a single location, it is now set across the entirety of New York, and sees the sort of brother of Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber, Simon Gruber, setting something up so they can rob Fort Knox, or not rob Fort Knox, because Fort Knox isn't in New York, but rob the bank, the big New York bank thing, I guess what it's called. But the action in this is spectacular. Bruce Willis is on point in this. He is John McClane, that is an alcoholic. He is down on his luck, and this just so happens to pull him out of that funk, and he teams up with Samuel L. Jackson's character, who is a sort of repairman in the hood, who finds himself reluctantly tagged along with John McClane on this crazy journey against Jeremy Irons' Simon Gruber. So good, just fucking amazing. A great movie. Then we dive into kind of a what they call it, sort of pivotal moment in cinema. Like Star Wars was a pivotal moment in 1977 when that came out. Indiana Jones was quite a pivotal moment as well, because it brought action and adventure back to the forefront than what we had in the 1950s. Brought that like fun adventure aesthetic based on the old Boys Own Adventure type of comics and graphic novels. Not graphic novels, but like dime store novels and stuff. That was quite what's the word for it? Yeah, influential, I guess. Again, this movie, to talk about its influence on modern cinema would be a disservice because of how much this film did for modern, not only action cinema but science fiction as well, and the whole early 2000s sort of trend that of how people dressed. And it is the Wachowski brothers, or the Wachowskis, apologies, The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Carrie-Anne Moss, along with a host of others, including Hugo Weaving, including Joe Pantoliano. Just cracking movie, cracking movie. Like I said, this was really influential on modern cinema. It took inspiration itself from everything from anime and manga to Hong Kong action cinema, like the John Woo type of stuff, the heroic bloodshed, also the kung fu movies that were choreographed by Wenwo Ping, who also did the choreography in this movie and the three others. Also, the idea of being in a simulation is again another thing that kind of became a sort of pop culture conspiracy, if you know what I mean, where people are like, I swear to God, we live in a what they simulation. That's the word I could think of. This also, after a few years of kind of just not having a huge career, after Speed, Keanu Reeves kind of came back and just kicked ass in this, and I think people realised at this point that Keanu was just a workman-like actor, until again then in 2014 when John Wick came out. It's just a great movie. The martial arts in this are incredible. The choreography is incredible. The action sequences, the stunts, the gunfights, the music, the cinematography, the editing, the special effects, the bullet time camera setup. Just a phenomenal science fiction movie, and one that I do watch quite often. So yeah, there's The Matrix. Then we have a film I watched probably when I shouldn't as a child, but I watched it on an old black and white television. On old black and white, I think it was like a 12-inch or 14-inch TV that my parents had from the late 70s, early 80s, that still kind of worked. And it was on BBC One night on a Saturday night. And I was upstairs in the bedroom that I shared with my brother when we were kids. And I put the TV on, tuned it to BBC One, because that's what you had to do back in the day. You had to tune the television through the antenna that was on the back to pick up the channels. And another film that I had to do with that as well was the original Mad Max, but that's for a different video. This film was on. I'd never seen it before. The first time I ever saw this film was in black and white. At the time, I didn't realise this film was colour until a few years later when I found the DVD, or found a VHS of it, I would think it was. And it's the movie Tremors. The monster movie Tremors, starring Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. This film, it means so much to me as a film nerd growing up in the 90s. It used to be on BBC One quite a lot when I was a kid. And I remember watching it often. I also used to watch it when I got sick. So if I was off from school and I was ill, I would be sat on the sofa in a blanket and I would watch Tremors, or I would watch Tank Girl, or I would watch something like Jurassic Park. I would watch these films, or even for 80s fans, like the Transformers movie. But Tremors, I love this movie. This is the 4K release from Arrow. I also have the Blu-ray release, and I have the DVD version because it comes in a box set, which is, I think it's the Tremors Legacy Pack, or Legacy Collection, which has Tremors 1, 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, man, Tremors, big mother humpers. I love this film. I can watch this anytime I feel down, and it just cheers me the fuck up, and I love it. Kevin Bacon's great as Valentine. Fred Ward's fantastic as Earl. You've also got Michael Gross. Reba McEntire's in this. Not Burt Kwok. Thingy Wong. What's his name? Can't remember his name now. The one from Big Trouble in Little China, and he's also in the Golden Child as well. But this also has Ariana Richards from Jurassic Park, which was a film that was originally on this list, but I took it off because I do love Jurassic Park, but it's not a film that I would class as one of my favourite movies of the 90s, even though I saw it at a specific time. I saw it on my 10th birthday. But I decided to remove that and add a different film, and I'll show you why. I'll tell you why when I get to the film. But yeah, Tremors. Tremors is so cool. I love the design of the graboids. Love just all of it. It's so cool. It's like a horror monster comedy romance movie thing. It's a lot of genres all rolled into one, and Tremors is just a lot of fun. So after Tremors, we've got another 4K. This film is a film that I watched for the first time in a double feature at my uncle's house with Speed. And I watched them on Laserdisc, and I don't think it had come out in the UK on any home format yet when we watched it, which is why Matthew had to get the Laserdisc. He got them imported from the States. And it's James Cameron's True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, Bill Paxton, Tom Arnold, Art Malik. Who else is in this? Charlton Heston is in this. And Thingy from Wayne's World. Can't remember her name off the top of my head now. But wow. This film is just so much fun. It's an action comedy romantic drama thriller. It's actually a remake of a film called La Totale, which is a French movie from, I believe, 1990 or 1991, possibly. But this is about a family, which are husband and wife, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. And it turns out that the husband, who the wife believed was a computer salesman, is actually a spy for a government agency known as a Megasector, and that her husband's friend and co-worker, played by Tom Arnold, they go around selling computers, when in actuality they work for this spy organization. And it opens with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character called Harry Tasker at a sort of function or a ball or something at a massive mansion where he has to infiltrate and just blow shit up. But it's also about nukes that are being transported in old statues. That there's a lot to this movie, but as it's a James Cameron movie, expect big explosions, amazing visual effects, brilliant stunt work, insane action sequences, really good back and forth banter between characters. A fantastic standout performance by Jamie Lee Curtis as Helen Tasker, and even Tom Arnold's really, really good in this. It's just so much fun. So yeah, True Lies, 4K True Lies. There's a really cool shootout in this in a bathroom, which I fucking love. We move on to what we got left. 1, 2. We've got 8. Going a little bit faster today. Obviously, I don't want this video to be an hour long, so we'll go a little bit faster. Then we have 1993. The film starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Of course, it's Demolition Man. This is the 4K release from Arrow in the funky hard box. Again, I love this movie. I can watch this movie over and over and never get bored of it. Stars on Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock. What else is his name? Nigel Davenport? No, Nigel Hawthorne. Sorry, got that wrong. Nigel Hawthorne, essentially a cop from nowadays, I guess you could say nowadays. A cop from nowadays is known as the Demolition Man because everything he touches explodes and just falls down. He is, the film opens with him chasing down Simon Phoenix, who is played by Wesley Snipes. He is a criminal, a gang leader, and a psychopath. He gets captured, and because of what happens and the damages that are caused, Stallone's character, known as John Spartan, fucking what a name. It's almost as good as John Matrix and another character played by Stallone called Lincoln Hawk. He always has these really cool names. Or Marion Cobretti, maybe not. They, instead of going into a prison, they are put into a cryo prison where they are frozen. And something happens where Simon Phoenix is released 30 years later, or 25 years later in the year 2032. 35 years later, there we go, in the year 2032, by a shady, I guess you could say Hawthorne's character was a businessman, by a shady man to do certain things. And the only way to stop a 20th century criminal is with a 20th century cop. So they unfreeze John Spartan and chaos ensues. Love it. Such a good movie. Such a funny script as well. Who wrote it? It was written by Daniel Waters, Robert Renault, and Peter M. Lenkoff, and directed by Marco Brambilla. Yeah. So much fun. Just a great time at the movies. Sandra Bullock, one of her earlier roles, this is pre-Speed, so she hasn't been in Speed yet. She's fantastic in this movie as Lelina Huxley. Stallone's really good as Spartan. Wesley Snipes is on form. You've got Dennis Leary in there as well. Benjamin Bratt. Just a great cast. Rob Schneider is in it as well, which is, I believe, how Rob Schneider ended up in Judge Dredd. Another film which I was thinking of putting on this list, but I decided against it. So yeah, let's move away from action and sci-fi to action and comedy with a film that kind of informed on, like, it introduced me to a lot of music, and I think you'll probably understand why, because it's Grosse Pointe Blank. Grosse Pointe Blank is a dark comedy thriller, romantic thriller with John Cusack and Minnie Driver, but it also has Alan Arkin and Dan Aykroyd among the cast. It's about a hitman played by John Cusack called Martin Blank, who is invited to his 10-year anniversary, 10-year high school anniversary, should I say, in his old town where he's from. But it turns out that he doesn't want to go until a hit job, comes up, which means he needs to go to the town because it's good pay. And so while he's on the job, he ends up inevitably reuniting with people he went to school with 10 years prior, including the love of his life, Minnie Driver, and his old high school best friend, played by Jeremy Piven. One of the things that really stands out from this film, and I might be the only one who sees this, is that Michael Cudlitz from The Walking Dead played, what's his name? I can't remember his name in The Walking Dead now. He is in this. He plays Bob DiStefano, who's a drunk bully. But this is his 10-year high school reunion. This was made in 1997 or 96. 3 years prior, Michael Cudlitz played a varsity hockey player in Mighty Ducks 3. And now he's playing a character who is at his 10-year high school reunion. So Cudlitz, like, well done, man. And then he went on and played Bull Randleman in Band of Brothers and the TV show Southland. Then went on to The Walking Dead. Yeah, this film's so fucking cool. I love this movie. I love the soundtrack to this film as well. 1986, class of 1986. So there's all this 80s music. You also have a really cool little sort of cameo by Benny the Jet Urquidez, who is a martial artist. If you know anything about Hong Kong martial arts cinema. He is the one who had a fight with Jackie Chan in, I want to say it's Wheels on Meals. I think it's that film, but I'm not 100% sure. It might even be a different one. He plays a rival assassin who's hired to kill Martin Blanc. But Cusack is very, very cool in this movie. Minnie Driver's really cute. There's really good action sequences in this. Oh, Hank Azaria is in this as well. He plays FBI agent. The music supervisor of this was Joe Strummer, who was the leader and a member of the band The Clash. So you could probably understand why this has such good music, because the producer of that is a music icon. So Grosse Pointe Blank, great movie. We have a total of 6 films left, so I'll try and get through these as quickly as I possibly can, because I don't want this video to run an hour long again. So next up, we have a film from 1997. This film, when it came out in the UK, it went through, I think it was 3 different age ratings before they settled on the age rating that it still has. This is a film directed by Paul Verhoeven. It is a science fiction movie. It follows the same sort of themes as RoboCop and Total Recall, where it's sort of a satire on certain things. This is more of a satire on sort of, I guess you could say, Nazi Germany, which is not a, believe it or not, it's not a theme that runs through the book, which was written by Robert Heinlein. There we go. It's the movie Starship Troopers. This is a film about a war between humans and aliens on an alien planet. I fucking love this movie so much. Why this is a top 10 movie of all time for me. I remember when this first came out and we watched it on VHS and it scared the shit out of my brother. Didn't do anything to me. I love this film. I can watch this movie over and over and over again. I watched the animated series called Roughnecks. I've read the book, I've listened to the audiobook from Heinlein, and this just, every time I watch it, it makes me smile. Yes, it's hyper-violent. Yes, at some points it's really cheesy. Some of the cast are wooden, like Casper Van Dien's not the best actor. Neither is Denise Richards. You also have Dinah Mayer in this. You have Jake Busey. You have Clancy Brown. You have Neil Patrick Harris, fresh off Doogie Howser. I believe it was Doogie Howser. Neil Patrick Harris is in this. You have Amy Smart shows up in this. You've got what's his name from Breaking Bad, the one who plays Hank. He's in this. He was also in Total Recall. He was the guy with the one eye. Just a phenomenal movie. Hugely underrated. Absolute 90s classic now, I've got to say, Starship Troopers. And sadly, it birthed 2 shockingly awful sequels, which with the exception of the 3rd film, I say, like, the second one, fucking terrible movie. Absolutely terrible film. Starred Richard Burgi. The 3rd one reintroduced us to Rico, played by Casper Van Dien in the film Starship Troopers Marauder. Then there was an animated movie called Invasion, I believe it was. And also we have the game that is actually meant to be pretty good. Also the game Helldivers, which is essentially just Starship Troopers. But this original Paul Verhoeven movie from 1997, I absolutely adore this film. And yeah, Michael Ironside is in that as well, and I forgot to mention him when I was talking about the cast. Rico's Roughnecks. Yeah. So, we have 5 movies left, and we are currently 25 minutes less than the last video. So, again, this is a top 5 movie. This usually is either at number 5 or it's number 6, or number 5 or number 6, depending on the mood I am in my top 5 films of all time. This is From Dusk Till Dawn from 1996. I adore this film. I've probably mentioned this many times before, but the first time I ever saw this, I pretended to be ill and stayed home from school when my parents went to work, so I could watch the VHS that they rented from the video shop and hid on a shelf. There was nothing wrong with me. I just wanted to watch a movie, and it happened to be this movie because I was told I wasn't allowed to watch it because of the violence and the swearing. At the time, I had no idea who Quentin Tarantino was. I didn't know who I knew who George Clooney was because of ER. I didn't know who Robert Rodriguez was. My film knowledge was at almost zero. My film knowledge was Star Wars and The Last Starfighter. That was pretty much it. Until this movie, I had no idea who these people were. And then I watched this movie. And I love this movie. I quote this movie daily. I can just... it really pisses me off that the sequels were bad. Well, they weren't bad. They just weren't great. They were typical of the sequels to a somewhat popular genre movie. So you had the second one, which was called Texas Blood Money, which starred Robert Patrick, and obviously Danny Trejo was in it. And then you had The Hangman's Daughter, which saw the return of Michael Parks. Michael Parks gives one of the greatest, most like relaxed, humanistic performances as Sheriff Earl McGraw in the opening 5 seconds of this movie. I have never seen anyone act the same way before. It is perfect. It's as if he just walked in and just started having a chat with John Hawkes. That's how naturalistic the performance of Michael Parks was in this. But Michael Parks shows up as the I think it's the protagonist of the third film called The Hangman's Daughter, which it's okay. I think it's got Tamara Morrison in it as well, who went on and would become Jango Fett and then Boba Fett in the Disney era Star Wars, as well as all the clones in the Clone Wars. But man, this film's so fucking cool. You've got, who have you got in it? Let's have a look. So we've got Danny Trejo, we've got George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, Cheech Marin playing 3 different roles. You also have then Tarantino. You have, who else? Have I said anyone else? Danny Trejo. George, I said George. Michael Parks is in this. John Saxon pops up. Kelly, who's married to John Travolta, sadly passed away. She pops up in it. Just a great fucking movie. Clooney's best performance, if you ask me. I don't care what anyone says. I reckon this is Clooney's best performance. He is so good as Seth Gecko. I fucking love this. Oh, Fred Williams is in this. So, Fred Williams, you've got Tom Savini, you've got Greg Nicotero is also, he shows up in this. Such a good, like, mixture of genre legends in one movie. And that's from 1996. So, yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. Just, I kind of want to watch it now. I want to stop this video and watch From Dusk Till Dawn. Then we have another Tarantino movie. Now, I said in the last video that, not including From Dusk Till Dawn, because that's directed by Robert Rodriguez. I said in the last video that there were 2, across both videos, there were 2 Tarantino movies. The first being the one that was in the last video, which was Reservoir Dogs. The second one being this one, Pulp Fiction. There is no way of denying that Pulp Fiction is probably one of the defining movies of the 1990s. Without Pulp Fiction, 90% of the crime movies that we get today probably wouldn't exist. Without this, we wouldn't have The Nice Guys. We wouldn't have Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, 2 Days in the Valley. Just the Boondock Saints. Non-linear storytelling. This film just fucking nails every single thing. Like, from the characters, the dialogue, the plot, which is really random because there's not a huge amount of plot when you really think about Pulp Fiction. The references, the pop culture references, I've said the music, John Travolta, career revival. Sam Jackson just literally becoming the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Tim Roth is really good as Honey Bunny. Not as Honey Bunny. Does he play Honey Bunny? I can't remember the name of his. It might be. Amanda Plummer as Yolanda. Be cool. Harvey Keitel as the Wolf. Winston Wolf. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis again playing Dutch. Not Dutch. Butch. Sorry. Christopher Walken with the clock monologue where he kept the watch up his ass for 4 years. Eric Stoltz. Ving Rhames, Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace, Ving Rhames as Marcellus Wallace. Is Marcellus Wallace a bitch? No. Then why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch? It's just so fucking good. And the poor guy who gets his head shot, Marvin, he gets his head blown off in the back of the car. That is the voice of Samurai Jack. Pulp Fiction, absolute iconic defining movie of the 1990s. Next one, probably not so much a defining movie of the 90s. However, for me, is one of my favourites. And I know that Ollie only saw this for the first time, I think maybe last week. I have seen this movie countless times. And again, another film I can quote daily. Another film starring two people that I mentioned in the last video, being Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It's the movie Basketball. This film is absolutely ridiculously silly, but it's also very, 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 very funny. If you like South Park, watch Basketball. It's written and directed by, I want to say written and directed by David Zucker, who did Airplane and what was the other one? Those type of silly, spoofy comedies. However, there is so much of Trey Parker and Matt Stone in this, it makes me wonder whether or not they threw out the script and just improv pretty much all of it, because there are so many references to South Park and to previous things that they had worked on or things that were upcoming. It's so funny. I absolutely adore these guys, and like I said, South Park the movie was my favorite animated movie of that year, of that decade. I love South Park. It's my favorite animated show after The Simpsons. Because The Simpsons is easy to watch; you can just whack it on in the background. Whereas South Park, because of the satire and the comedy in that, you need to actually kind of watch it. But yeah, this has got so many memorable, silly moments and quotes, and your mum's going out and squeak moments. That I love it. Also introduced me to one of my favourite bands as well. One of my favourite bands is a band called Real Big Fish. They have 2 songs in this movie, one being a cover of Aha's Take On Me, and another being the song Beer. Because of this movie, it introduced me to the world of ska punk, and I got into listening to a lot of ska from Real Big Fish to Less and Jake, which then took me back in time to the second wave of British ska. So, yeah, this is a quite important movie when it comes to my musical tastes. I love this movie. Basketball. I heard your mum's going out with Squeak. Dude, we're going to say really fucked up shit. Hey, what's so fucked up about me going out with his mum? Then we have Michael Bay's sort of, I want to say calling card, but he'd already done Bad Boys prior to this, but this put Michael Bay on the map. And it's The Rock, which, if you haven't seen, what the hell's the matter with you? It's The Rock, for fuck's sake. This is a action movie on a grand scale, considering most of this film takes place on an island. It is a film that people believe, and let's face it, the evidence kind of stacks up, that this is actually a secret James Bond movie, and it does kind of work in its favour. If you go on YouTube and you search The Rock is a secret James Bond movie, watch it and then put all things together, all the evidence together, it is pretty obvious that this is actually a secret James Bond movie. But it stars Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris. Tony Todd is in this as well. Just a huge cast of people. Michael Biehn is in this as a Navy SEAL. This was massively influential as well on video games, because there is a sequence in this where there is a massacre in a prison shower room, which would then appear in the game Call of Duty. I'm going to have a drink because my mouth's going dry. And it's just a lot of fun. Again, if you've never seen The Rock, this is like the pinnacle of 90s action cinema. I don't think it got any better after this. You had this, Die Hard, GoldenEye, and there was a couple others, but this was like the big scale uber action extravaganza, and it kind of put Michael Bay on the map. But Bad Boys 1 was good. The Rock, holy shit, this movie rocks. So yeah, I love The Rock. That is that. And we get to the last movie, the last of the 15, is a film I always talk about. It's like my third favourite movie of all time. Fourth favourite movie of all time. It's a John Frankenheimer movie starring Robert De Niro and Jean Reno. It is the movie Ronin. I can watch this movie. In fact, I did watch this movie. I watched this movie once a month for an entire year, which is only 12 times. But when you watch a film once a month for an entire year, you do kind of find, what's the word for it? A love for it. Like when this film came out, I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. I thought it was boring. I didn't really understand what was going on. I think I was probably a bit too naive to really understand it. And then a few years after, when I got a little bit older, I found the DVD. I bought the DVD. I played the DVD. And I fell in love with a movie. And this movie happened to be Ronin. A film about a group of mercenaries. One may or may not be working as a CIA informant or for the CIA, who are tasked by the IRA to, sort of tasked by the IRA, by a man in a wheelchair to locate a briefcase off a person in the south of France. Then there's double crosses, there's car chases, there's triple crosses, there's murder, there's assassins, there's ballet. It's just so damn good, and it's a film I never, ever, ever, ever get bored of. It's got incredible cinematography, action sequences. The music by Ilya Simrol is just, it makes the hair on my arm stand up when I watch it. De Niro is at his De Niro coolest in this as Sam, a possible CIA agent working as a mercenary for this man called the Man in the Wheelchair, who may or may not be a CIA agent or a go-between between the CIA and some other government agencies. And then there's the Russians, but also you get the cast in this is Jean Reno, Robert De Niro, Stellan Skarsgård, Natasha McElhone, Sean Bean is in this, Skip Sudduth, Jonathan Pryce. Just such a great cast. The film was originally written by a writer called J.D. Zeke, who wrote another film called Pistol Whipped, starring Steven Seagal, which was not a very good movie. But from what I gather, the original script of this wasn't actually up to par. So it was sort of rewritten by a man called Richard Weiss, who, if you don't know the name Richard Weiss, he is a writer who also goes by the name of David Mamet. David Mamet, the renowned, award-winning playwright and screenwriter, rewrote this movie, and J.D. Zeke got a screenplay credit, but the reason David Mamet had his name changed or had used a pseudonym is because he wanted to have a sole writing credit. And they wouldn't allow it, so he took his name off the film and used the pseudonym. So J.D. Zeke had a screenplay credit and story credit on the film. John Frankenheimer, the legendary Hollywood filmmaker who made some of the greatest movies of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, shows that the man still had it in 1997 when they started filming this. This was released in 98. Sadly, he would only direct 2 more films after this, one being Reindeer Games, also known as Deception here in the UK, which I don't know why they changed it from Deception to from Reindeer Games to Deception. I know it as Reindeer Games, and that's what I call it. And I think he made a film called The Fog of War, which was a sort of documentary about the war in Iraq or the oil wars or something. I've never seen it, so I don't really know. But yeah, Ronin, top 5 movies of all time, and I absolutely adore it. There we go. So this is only 10 minutes shorter than the last video. Apologies, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about 90s movies for 45 to nearly 50 minutes. I will be back with a top 80s video soon when I get a chance. I'm in work for the next 4 days, so I'm not going to be doing it when I'm there, or when I get home, because I just can't be asked, because it's a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Pedro. This is Pedro's movie desk and the cabin, which is over there. I need to get a new bookcase as well. I'm going to give you a salute. I'm going to throw out the peace sign. I'm going to tell you that I'm out. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.